Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Meditation Reflections. It's the 13th of August, and welcome.
A Thursday.
Cloudy and cold, but very little wind. Lots of work we're planning today, so we're going to get dressed up in our grubbies and go for it.
Yeah. Putting the floor in the barn, and it's a limecrete floor, so it's working with concrete today, and I think I better pick up another couple of bags of concrete while I'm in town. By the way.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know how far we're going to get today, but because we got a lot of mixing to do. Fortunately, we have a mixer. Anyway.
Very good meditation this morning.
Yeah, getting back on track here. It's one of the things I've been failing to do lately in trying to connect with my guides is actually asking questions. And that's very important, because if you don't ask, you don't know. So ask and ye shall know, seek and ye shall find. It's all true. So ask questions of your guides and you'll get answers. But don't look for it in like a booming voice from the clouds or something like that. It's just going to be so subtle, and the answers can come in many different forms. You can catch something out of the corner of your eye. You see a little word, little synchronicities. Open a book to a random page. See an expression from another person, and it's all the way we're wired. It's quantum. So
Sorry, the universe is wired that way too.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a buzzword, but it works. It's very it can seem crazy, which we all are.
It's hard,
especially me.
It's hard physics too. So it's kind of like, it's interesting. Somebody was asking me, is this just a new buzzword? And no, it's a form of physics that was developed about 1910 or so.
Yeah, and it's maybe we'll come up with better words or more words to describe it.
Every time physics realigns itself, we realign the culture to take that form of thinking into account. But I did want to talk a little bit more. I think the idea of asking questions is really good, but you may have to ask it several times. There's just something you're thinking about, and you're turning it over in your head, which is an easy thing. If you're working on something, you're checking it. And if you ask Spirit, it could form in as an insight in your head all of a sudden. Why would that idea appear right there in your head right then? You hadn't been thinking an answer to it. And it can come in, and that trick of picking up a book and letting it fall open or flip open to a page and reading what is on that page. The Bible was used that way as a way of getting messages from God by letting the Bible fall open and what you were attracted to, or you get two numbers, which of course will indicate a Bible page, or a phrase. Any of those things, the message is going to come in a lot of different ways. And just be open and be noticing the things around you, so you can spot it when it comes in.
Yeah, things pop into your head all the time. Some of those thoughts are your own, and some of them actually aren't.
True. A lot aren't.
Yeah.
You can get the chatter from around you, but you can also get guidance from Spirit. And usually, guidance from Spirit is logical, to the point, and almost invariably positive, but giving you choice. It doesn't tell you what to do. It says, here's your options, here's your choice. I'd recommend this one because of this.
Yeah.
And it'll be logical, or, well, not logical in the science world, but it'll make sense.
Yeah. Also, don't trust your mind. Trust your heart.
Yeah, that's true. If it's confirmed by your heart. And that's a useful skill, to learn to think from the heart.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to link the heart and mind together.
Yeah, one time I was trying to make a major decision. This was many, many years ago, like over 20 years ago, and I was trying to decide which building to move my crystal shop into. And I asked that the message come through my heart. One building I saw in my mind's eye, and it was just the skeleton of the building, and it was in flames. the other building I was considering, I saw a dove land on the ground, and I knew, well, pretty obvious which building to choose there, and it was definitely the right choice.
By the way, nothing's happened to the other building, but we've been very happy in this
Yeah,
one.
it has not burned down, but
Yeah.
I was given an indication very clearly which one to choose. So yeah, it's still standing.
Yeah, keep in mind, Spirit has to give you answers in metaphor
Yeah,
or pictures. By the way, that's the starting point of learning which way you receive information, which I think is an important idea.
and when I started doing readings, some of the answers were just so cryptic. I just had no understanding of it.
By the way, for people learning to do readings, that's a very common problem. And I can still remember Greg Southhorn, who was one of our earliest teacher and a wonderful man. He said, "Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Spirit knows what it's saying. You don't have to understand it at all. The
Yeah.
person receiving the message is the one.
Give what you get. You don't
Give
have
what you get,
and
and
you
don't care about it."
Yeah, and don't become attached to it. And it's especially difficult to give a reading for yourself or someone you know. It's actually much better to give a reading to someone that's a total stranger, because you're not influenced by a previous knowledge of that person.
I remember Jeanette Wilson was teaching a little bit about reading tarot cards or things like that, and she says choose a public figure that you know the name of, but you've never met them, you know nothing about it, and do a reading for them and see if it turns up an insight that you would otherwise not have had about that person.
Yep.
And that gives you the practice of getting that feeling inside. But I was also going to talk about some people hear, some people see, some people feel, and it's like close to the touch
Some
feeling.
people smell, but they need to take a bath.
No.
Joke.
Well, actually, there are people who make their judgments based on whether it smells right or not. I was always
true.
astounded.
True. Yeah,
The art historian-
It does. You know, this place doesn't smell right, and
Well,
there's some good entities or bad entities in there, and you can
Well,
tell that way.
anyway,
So anyway,
but no, I need to tell who was doing this because it was
Oh.
kind of surprising. It was Dr. Peter Wolfgang Gunther, the art historian I studied under, who was an iconographer. And he was involved with the identification of the forgeries that had been made during World War II of important paintings.
oh wow,
And he said, it finally came down to the sense of smell. It smelled right or it didn't smell right. And for him, that was a feeling,
yep,
but it was connected to his sense of smell.
yep.
And this is an important iconographer,
Also,
and scholar.
smells can trigger memories too.
The oldest memories are triggered by smell,
Yeah,
which is interesting. But remember, it can also be feeling, but there's two forms of feeling. There's the skin feeling, the touch of the hand, well actually three, and the feeling of the heart. And then there's knowing, which is not completely in the head all the time, but
Yeah.
can be knowing in the heart.
yep.
So notice how you get insight or information,
Expand your senses.
and then expand the senses to and grow. By the way, the more work you do in this way, the stronger or the easier it gets to do. And again, the trick of learning to do the cold readings is among the best. So
And-
something we'd encourage.
Yeah.
So be aware of asking questions. Be aware of looking for a lot of different ways for the answer to come back to you.
Yeah, you're far more powerful than you know.
Absolutely, and that's probably the bottom line.
Mm.
Anyway, we wish you a wonderful day,
Yeah.
and we'll see you again tomorrow morning, and hopefully we'll have some concrete laid by then.
We'll let you know how it's going.
Yeah, blessings upon you.
Blessings.